Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. We're on to episode 85 of the Sellik the Thunder. Should we address the elephant in the room? I've got Twitter back.
Lovely.
Quality, innit? Happy to see me back.
It's not Ryan away, it's Ryan back.
Yeah, I'm back. Nah, I'm joking. We've got a big elephant in the room to talk about today. I think we all know what we're here to talk about today. But before we get into that, I'm going to introduce my guests. Ryan McGinley, how are you today? Are you as anxious as the rest of us?
See, because I've been talking about it all day. No, I'm not as anxious. I think I'm pretty calm about the whole situation. Whatever will be, que sera. So
nice.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones. I'm sure we'll go into more detail.
I'm sure we will. Kieran, we had a brief conversation about it all in the car on the way here. Are you ready to go into it in deep fashion?
I mean, I'm not quite like McGinley. I'm not going to sit here and quote Doris Day to you. But I mean, I think I'm very anxious about it. I think this is going to be the opportunity to vent all my worries and frustrations. And
I'm sure everybody will be listening with an eager ear for your opinions here, Kieran. Usually you're very explicit.
I don't know if I'm going to be as explicit, to be fair. I think it's just going to be me talking about how scared I am.
Right, well, we'll get into that. Now, usually at the start of these shows, I would ask for a shirt number or I'd ask for something else. And normally it would be the top scorer of the 84-85 campaign I'd normally go for. Mm-hmm. Sadly today I can't because there's no Wi-Fi, so I don't know. So let us know. It's your turn in the comments. You tell us who was the top goal scorer for Celtic at the end of the 1984-85 campaign. That's your homework, and make sure to get it in time. Thank you very much. So we've got a lot to talk about today. There's a cup final and a potential treble on the horizon, but all of that has been clouded by the drama that has been caused by Tottenham Hotspur and the potential exit of Ange Postecoglou. There's a timeline of events to go through here, but I think we all know by now what the script is. So let's just jump right into it. Kieran, I'm going to start with you. Where are you sitting right now, mate?
I don't know, because this morning, if you asked me, I'd completely resigned myself to the fact he's away. And I mean, I don't think I'm fully moved away for that, but then you get snippets for his interview done for the final, and you're getting a wee glimmer of hope, and you don't know if you're just latching onto things. And I was saying to you in the motor, I'm like, everybody seems to, myself included, latching onto wee things he's saying, thinking, oh, would he say that if he's leaving? But I think it's looking at stuff that people including myself might feel a bit stupid for buying into this time next week. Perhaps I think some of the stuff that's being said is quite generic, and he's holding his cards pretty close to his chest, but he was obviously going to do. Ange isn't going to come out and say, as much as we all want him to come out and say, I'm staying, I'm not even going to talk about that, Joe. Mm-hmm. He's doing what he always does and just focuses on the next game, and he's been true to his word on that. But they were saying on Super Scoreboard tonight, I think we'll see a lot more information come out after the game, because supposedly that's when they're waiting to make their approach and that. Yep. But I don't know, we can still hang on to hope until it's done and dusted officially, because I feel everybody's losing their heads, and we're not immune for that either. But on Twitter it's bedlam. I've seen the 7 stages of grief in that. I feel like specific accounts today, fucking from anger to denial and like that.
How many stages have you went through personally?
I've went through every stage
about
all 4
7
times a day.
It's hard though, because Ryan, I'll come to you here. It's very easy to quickly jump in two-footed either side that he's staying or he's leaving, but I guess a lot of it is going to be just patience and wait and see what happens post the cup final, because as Kieran's mentioned, right, we got the press conference today, and I think that you can probably take a glimmer of hope from that, but at the same time he's damned if it does and damned if he doesn't. He's not exactly going to come out and say, oh, I am taking the job, I'm away. But he's also not going to come out and say, "Oh, I'm not taking the job," because then he'd look rather foolish next week if he ends up being Tottenham manager. It's not as black and white as what I think people are hoping it would be.
No, then to be fair, I think he's went about it the right way, regardless of what's happening in the background. The less comment about it, the better. I know he's had to shut down a couple of comments or a couple of questions that have been asked today. I liked some of his answers. I've got to be honest, I do expect him to go. I'm just going to go out there and say it.
Get it off your chest straight away.
I think Saturday will be his last game. I've just got it in my head. I've almost resigned myself to the fact that this is it. I mean, you look at all the factors. 57 years old. If Spurs come calling for him with the facilities that they have with the league that they play in, he's going to go. He's not going to be silly. He's not going to be stupid. I think he will. I think he would go, and I don't think I would grudge him that either, because if he was to go, I think he deserves that chance down south.
Let's get it off our chest straight away, then give our opinions, just so everybody knows where we're coming from. Ryan, you've already said you think he'll leave.
Yeah.
Kieran, are you?
I think realistically, but I think I'm still holding on for that wee glimmer of hope and the wee things he's saying, and you're hoping that after the cup final, if we win, go back to Celtic Park, and as I was saying to you, there's a table up on that stage of the building. They just make him sign it there and then.
Desmond's there.
I think it might just be sort of wishful thinking.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of different opinions on whether what this would sort of date his legacy maybe, but for me, I don't think if he was to leave, we could generally sit and hold a pure grudge at it.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of fans are maybe going to go down that route. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a weird notion, I think, to take, especially a manager that's came in for Australia. He's came in. People are talking about how disrespectful it is to the Tottenham fans to be so playing it after they don't want them and that. Like, a lot of people are pretty self-aware and say this was us 2 years ago.
No, yeah, exactly.
But you've got some people that just don't seem to see that, and I'm like, we can. But this is how all the fans of previous teams he's managed felt when we were going like that. Who the fuck is that guy coming in?
Yeah, but it's like the roles have been reversed. We were the ones getting told off the Australians and the Japanese that he'd come in and rock a world. Dude, that's us to the Spurs fans like this, and you don't know what you're in for if this guy's the manager.
Yeah, it's the rewriting of history that really gets me. I remember me and you went on 2 separate streams on that day talking about Ange Postecoglou. I don't even think we could say his second name at that point.
It took me a good few times to get it right.
In Brazil.
Not quite. Who's this Postecoglou?
I mean, and at that point, I had heard of him before, because obviously he was the Australia manager.
Yeah.
When you're watching the World Cup coverage, you'll see him getting interviewed and stuff like that. But it's kind of weird that the shoe's already kind of on the other foot with regards to us.
Only 2 years later.
You know, it's not even 2 years.
I
When
know.
you think about it, it's round about that point now. You've got to say, but. It's a weird situation to be in. It's not a situation I would have expected us to be in this early, but I think you've got to give Ange credit.
No, absolutely.
The reason why,
and that's what Kieran's saying there about people can't jump on the back of him now and take away anything that he's done
what
here.
a bad word said about
No,
him.
he will move on with. And listen, this time next week, this might be nonsense conversation. We might be looking back and laughing at this, but if he does move on, he'll go with my best wishes. He'll go with all my love, and I'll wish him the absolute best at Spurs, because he's came in here and he's took the club from a position that looked really dire, and there was a real tough one to pull ourselves out of, and he's turned it round tenfold. He's turned it round to a level that none of us would have expected. We're now looking at one of the best Celtic sides we've seen in all of our lifetimes. Who would have predicted that the minute he walked through the door? Absolutely nobody. So if you're telling me that you're going to watch Ange Postecoglou walk away to this new job and give him any sort of crap for it, I just don't understand. I don't think he deserves that at all. I think that he's done so much here to deserve the credit and the respect he deserves. Listen, it's not like we're going to be building statues of him or naming stands after him anytime soon. Managers have been here longer, but he does definitely deserve the love and respect for everything he's done.
Yeah, and he'd have the respect of leaving at the end of the season as well for another job. Even under Lennon, his first one, he just resigned. He didn't even go to another job. He waited and then get another job. Whereas if Ange was to go just now, you'd know where he's going. You know he's going to so-called step up. Regardless of what you think about the league that you would be going to or the team that you'd be going to in the league, it is the biggest league in the world.
Yeah.
Probably the best league in the world now when you look at the quality. I can't grudge him it, especially given his age. If he was 10 years younger, I'd maybe question the team that he's going to, but even still, or perceived to be going to, if that approach does come in. But yeah, he's got to be thinking, Father Time stops for nobody, and if he doesn't take that chance, if it does get presented to him, will there be another chance? What if he has a terrible season the next season? One of those ones.
Kieran, we were talking about this a bit in the group chat today, and even in the car on the way here, talking about the fact that now, and we'll come on to moving forward, right? But you know, this is the situation. You know, if you're getting a manager who is wanting to ultimately get to the top, Celtic has a 2-3 year job, but it's no one that you're Ange, yeah, he's 58, and if he was here a wee bit longer, maybe he would see out his career here, but this is the last big step, and people shouldn't be so shocked when all these managers do come and go after a couple of years.
See, we were talking about that because it's like, I've seen a lot of people talk about potential replacements if Ange does leave to go to Tottenham. And people, I don't want, say, Rodgers back because we know he'll jump at the first opportunity. I don't want this manager. Like, somebody said Potter. I don't think we get Potter, but I just mean, like, he'd be looking to go back. I'm like, see, if you want to get a manager with ambition and is actually a really good manager, you need to be realistic in the terms. We talk about players all the time, how we're not the be-all and end-all for these players.
Yep.
It's the same for managers. Like, see, if you want to get a genuine top-class manager in, you also need to deal with the fact that they don't see Celtic as the be-all and end-all. 2 to 3 seasons, and as horrible as that sounds, like, because it's actually quite deflating to think about it. Like,
it is. It's
with
annoying.
players, it's like, you know, there's a constant stream of you get other players in, but with managers just feel different. It's like, see, to think that 2 to 3 years is the maximum any manager with some real quality will spend at your club. It's not ideal, because then you worry about, is it going to be rebuild after no rebuild, but like having to a complete overhaul every time. Because I'm sure we'll go into, like, if we had to replace him, like, who would come in, the implications of that, whether it would be the same system, if it complete overhaul. But like, it's deflating to think that 2 to 3 years is, because I mean, you look at Rodgers, he was here for 2.5 seasons.
You can go right back in this, because you can stretch back to Strang. Strang was here 4 seasons. Lennon's first 10 years, 4 seasons. Dyer 2 seasons.
You can go back to O'Neill, but I think the footballing landscape's changed big time massively in the past 20 years. To even go, people will go back and say, I bet Martin O'Neill's side in that, but I mean, like, Celtic could compete in Europe.
The
days
of a manager staying 5+ years are long gone.
Yeah.
I think if you want a manager that's going to stay that long, it sounds horrible to demean people's careers and that, but you want a manager that's good but no good enough. Because then you're stuck in the middle ground that I will keep a hold on manager because nobody else wants him.
But then that's you having to then, like, sacrifice trebles and sacrifice trophies, and you weigh that up, but you can't please everybody.
Nah.
That's the thing. Lennon could have stayed another 3-4 years.
He could have. Did people want that? No,
you'd much rather take the hit in the longevity of a manager, for how good they are. Basically, if a manager is good enough, then if you've got clubs that are going for them after 2-3 years, that shows you that they're doing a good job, and that's why it's important for people like Mark Lawwell, even Michael Nicholson. You could bring into this. Their job is important in bringing in the next person and having that contingency plan, so that when there is interest in this manager, and he maybe does go, then there's another manager to come in as part of that contingency plan. Then the system doesn't change that much. It's all about the next manager. The thing is, Ange Postecoglou's been great for the 2 years that he's been at Celtic, but there's no one bigger than Celtic. Celtic could be there before. I seen a
cracking quote on Twitter earlier, and it was like, Ange might be gone on Monday, but Celtic's still going to be here on Tuesday.
True.
That's the way you've got to look at it. You know, the club's no stop them just because somebody's went out the door.
Life does go on, because it will feel like an absolute gut punch if Ange was to go to Tottenham, and I really hope he doesn't. I hope somehow he stays. Tottenham on the offering what he would want,
or they go for somebody else, etc.
But like, hopefully, as we said, this is all rubbish, but it will hurt. But as you are saying, like, nobody's bigger than the club. Life goes on, and it's why the ones, but you'll get it soon enough. Like,
of course,
you get a new manager in, but it's, as McGinley was saying, about getting the right appointment, and I'm sure we'll go into it, but it's like, I think the next appointment's going to be a huge one to determine whether we keep the momentum going, or because I think if you bring in a manager that doesn't play the exact same system, or not the exact same system, but a very similar system that fits the players we've got and requires us to offload hundreds of players and then bring in a completely new squad, I don't know if we can afford to be doing that right now. But I was also saying to you, Ryan, about if we were to try and find managers that fit the system and that, I think that limits us quite greatly, and then I think that it might give the board a piece sort of look into appointing somebody like John Kennedy, like, because they might think somebody that's worked under him knows the system, but I don't think that's the sort of direction we should be going in as a club right now.
There's a lot of concerns like that, isn't there, Ryan? There's like, one thing that if we want to move on here to the kind of the worries of Ange leaving, the one worry for me and the biggest worry is I'm worried about losing Ange, and that's the thing that I'll miss the most. But one of the things that goes out the door with him is his eye for recruitment, because his recruitment has been top notch, and I'm not ready to resign back to the days of signing 5-6 players a window and one of them being good. Let's be real, before Ange was here, that was the case for a lot of windows, and I don't know if I'm ready to lose that, because it's then trying to sign players again. Do we suddenly lose our interest in the Japanese markets and yada yada? I know we've brought in guys higher up, and hopefully that's what helps us forward, right?
Yeah, that definitely is a worry, especially since you think that Ange Postecoglou is probably doing about 3 or 4 jobs, especially in his first season. I think that load's been taken off him a wee bit because of the appointment of Mark Lawwell. Now, we don't know exactly what he does day by day, but we know that he'll be taking some of the load off at Ange when it comes to recruiting players. In that first season, he was director of football, chief scout, also the manager of the club, basically the custodian of the whole club. That was his job. So if you take him out of the equation, it's like taking that sort of, I don't know, taking the sort of roots out of a tree.
Yeah.
You see the rest of the branches will sort of wither. You just hope that's not the case with him. But one thing I will say though about the Celtic job is a far more attractive job than what it was 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
And that's because of Ange Postecoglou, and he deserves so much credit. There will not be a shortage of applicants. It's just whether or not Celtic do their due diligence when those applications come in. Now, I'm not worried for a second that we're going to go down the Lennon route again, or somebody that's...
he's already distanced himself, hasn't he?
He says he needs a break from...
a break from the club.
That's incredible.
How many men in history could turn around and say I need a break for the club, like, how many men?
The man is unemployed and he wants a break from getting paid.
You're flattering yourself there, Neil.
I know, it's one of those ones, but Celtic at the moment are in such an attractive position that even if their manager does leave, and Ange is one of the biggest successes of the club in the past few years, or one of the most successful factors, the club is still in a really, really good place, and any manager coming in, that's an attractive prospect.
Yeah.
We just need to get, if he does go, now it's a big if. He might just turn around and say, I'm not going, and he stays, and that's great. That's what we want. But by the way, I need to underline that we do want Ange Postecoglou to stay.
We're talking hypothetically he leaves. We're not saying we want him to leave.
But if he does leave, then there will be good managers in for this job. I'm guaranteed.
Me and my dad were talking about it today, because it's like, I mean, even on this podcast 2 years ago we were throwing about the term poison chalice quite a bit, and I think it was pretty factual back then. I thought that was the case, and then Ange took a job, but
it wasn't a poison chalice.
The problem is that's also a term that's getting thrown about the Tottenham job now.
That's true.
But as you're saying again, like, these managers come in. Ange came into a club that wasn't guaranteed Champions League, was off the back of losing 10 in a row. But I mean, now Celtic are in a position of strength. A guaranteed Champions League group stage is attractive to any manager coming into a club, knowing they'll have the money to spend. And as much as we don't like about selling players, if a manager was to come in that had to change system, they know there's a couple of assets in the team worth a fair bit of money that they could use money to. So it's no an unattractive prospect like it was 2 years ago. And as you said, Ange is solely responsible for that. I don't think it's like majorly, like he is the sole reason for it. But I think we'll be left in a good position. I think it'd be harsh just going back to what we were talking about earlier. If MD was to maybe go down calling him the snake route with Rodgers,
it would be really harsh.
I feel like the thing is, well, we all want one more season. But I was saying to you, Ryan, like, I don't know if we got one more season at him, everybody would be saying the same thing next season anyway. But one more season. But realistically, you think 3 seasons is a good run for a manager of his quality. If everybody wants that to happen, hopefully it is the case. But realistically, if we got to the end of next season, we'd all be saying we want one more season for another crack at Europe. And so it is a never-ending cycle. But I really hope this is just nonsense talk.
I know. I really want us to look back in this podcast and go, what was the point in that?
No.
I thought we were going to do that because of last week's podcast.
Yeah,
and then
and
this week it seems to have got more
intense,
solidified in terms of the rumours. It'll be interesting.
And it's just hard to... There's so many people on both sides of the fence. There's people determined he's leaving. There's people that's determined he's staying. I think you're foolish to be in either side of it, in all honesty.
Be in the middle.
You've got to just wait and see what happens.
Speculation. See, when you're seeing articles getting put out by the Sun and the
this is what I wanted to come on
they're
to.
putting the sources as each other's article.
Yeah.
Like, that is fucking gutter journalism, and it's nothing you wouldn't expect for the two rags.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing, though. Like, as nonsense as it is, there's obviously reason for the fuel being there, and that's why fans should be concerned. But you can't just start buying into every single last word they say. You look at the record today, who contradicted himself in the space of an hour. At the beginning, I think it was 11 o'clock, maybe 12 o'clock, they were saying that Celtic are resigned to the fact he's leaving. They're now going to explore options. Davy Moyes is a candidate. An hour later, Dermot Desmond's going to give him this offer. They're sort of not resigned to the fact he's leaving. So that's what I wanted to come on to next, very quickly, is what does Celtic do now? Does Celtic lie down and accept it, or does Dermot Desmond go out there, Kieran, and make an offer he can't refuse?
I don't see this going away there where we don't try and keep him. I think we're going to just roll over and let him leave. I mean, obviously, if he wants to leave, we can't really do much about it, but present him with the option of staying here. Don't make it the grass is greener, they're giving you all this, and we're like, well, you can stay here, and as things are, you know how good you've got it and that. I can't see us putting an offer on the table, a long-term deal, fucking double his wage, triple it, I don't care,
quadruple it.
But you just need to give him what he wants to stay here. And I think me and my dad were also talking about the fact that I think he probably likes the control he has overseen a lot more up here. But if he goes to a club like Tottenham, he's not going to get as much control over different aspects of the club, and that he'll have his say, but he's going to be a small fish in a big pond at Tottenham.
Because Daniel Levy's got a right good grip on what happens up there, hasn't he?
Finances and that.
He's got the grip.
Aye.
I suppose, like, they were talking yesterday about Harry Kane. If he goes, like, he's got to command a pretty big fee, so they'll have money to play with. But Tottenham, they've spent a fuck ton. I think they spent over £1 billion since they last won a trophy in 2008. But the people they've been signing haven't been up to scratch for the most part, apart from the wee sort of golden patch they had to get to the Champions League final and that. Like, but it's not been a sustained period of any success for Tottenham. I mean, flirting with the top four and that every year, but you want to sit here as Celtic fans, we've got the green tinted glasses, why would you want to go? But I mean, you look at the bigger picture, it's a top 6 job in England. I'd still say Celtic are a bigger club than Tottenham, but the job itself is an attractive one to any manager in world football, and I think we'd be naive to sit and think that this is the be all and end all for. And you would like to think that he would hold out for a couple more years and get offered a bigger job, but realistically, you look at what big teams in England in recent history have went for Celtic Rangers managers, like for the top 4.
I mean, the closest to it is probably fucking Aston Villa with O'Neill. That's probably the closest you'll get to
Leicester were in a pretty...
they were in a good position as well when they got Rodgers.
Like, they weren't doing great, hence why they needed a manager, but he came in and made them like challenge for top 4.
Europe, FA Cup, Community Shield.
But they'll be looking at Leicester and that. I mean, obviously it didn't work out in the long run for them, but I mean, that was a good...
Got a trophy.
4 years.
And that's something Tottenham have not got in a long time. But if Dermot Desmond has his head screwed, like, Dermot Desmond's a man that's worth £2.2 billion. And I know not all of that's in Celtic Football Club. It's not as if he can just reach into his pocket and shove it into the club. But in this situation, he should be thinking really, really strongly, Ryan, about getting Ange sat down, speak to him, listen, well, I don't know what Spurs have offered you. This is what I'm offering you. I'll triple your wages, I'll do whatever, because Ange isn't just something, and I put this exact quote on Twitter earlier, I tweeted it, saying that Ange isn't just like so connected to the fans, he's connected to the whole ethos of the club. Everything that Ange Postecoglou has done here at Celtic and bought into at Celtic, that him and the club just align with each other perfectly, and that's something that I think Dermot Desmond and the rest of the board should realise when going, right, okay, he might not take the offer, it's not like you can force the man to take it, but at least lay the gauntlet down and say, like, we can do just as good a job here.
I don't think they're that incompetent that they haven't already done that. I'm sure they have. I'm sure that they would have offered him something. They might have even known that this sort of interest was coming, or it was in circulation. I mean, you seen that picture of Dermot Desmond and Ange Postecoglou 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it makes you think, was something said there? Was a sit down arranged then? He is so important to the way the team is. It's almost a worry that he's too important because of how. I mean, you look at the failure that we had the season before we had him, and then the 2 seasons that we've had him are successful. So is it all just because of him? If we lose him, does that mean we'll go back to being a failure again? Is it all just Ange Postecoglou? It's a weird one. I hope it's resolved one way or the other, and I think if there is that offer, if there is that approach that happens after the cup final, Ange is going to obviously hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
He's got to
I
do
think
that.
he should be allowed that as well.
It would be silly if he didn't.
Yeah.
I don't see him turning them down. I'll be honest. If it goes to that stage,
I think it would need to be a pretty shite deal on the table in terms of like, he asked them how much am I getting in the summer, and like he doesn't think he's going to be able to do the job with the allotted funds.
Yeah,
or
because if they
doesn't
turn
like
round and say to him, "You need to finish top 4 this season. We're giving you this to do it," and he's like, "He doesn't want to lose his job."
We're
you know?
talking about the parallels between him taking the Celtic job, and we weren't on board in that. But I feel like it was a lot easier for a Celtic manager to get taken on board than it is with Tottenham. Down south, you do not get granted that time. I'm not saying it's perfect up here either. You see a lot of wee teams sacking their manager straight away, but it's like he really won't get the time. And I'm just thinking, if he starts after in there with the same 6-game start that we had in the league, 3 wins, 3 losses, like, I think that it's not going to, depending on how the fixture list goes for Tottenham next season, I think it's going to be a tough one, because everybody up here would back him and want him to do well. I mean, some people might not care, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a Celtic manager anymore, why would I care? That's fair enough. But I mean, I think most people would want him to do well, but I think it's why the ones we talk about as a poison chalice, he really won't get timed in there.
Yeah,
because he would, if you say
Nuno was there about 5 minutes.
if he takes that job though, I think one of the advantages for Spurs is that they didn't get any European spot whatsoever.
So he wouldn't have
that would be absolutely perfect. Now, I'm not advocating for Ange to go down to Spurs and take the job. This isn't becoming a Spurs podcast, but
Who knows? Maybe next season it will be.
I'll follow you, Ange. Ends there. But just having that, I mean, at most 2 games a week, that would be perfect for him, because we've heard about how much he enjoys being on the training ground and sort of getting his philosophies into the players. No two ways about it. That is a good squad that Spurs have got. They have been underachieving.
Just not utilised it.
Yeah, I mean, they've still got really good players. Son, Kane are still there. Richarlison's a good player. He didn't turn into a rubbish player overnight. Yeah, I mean, Richarlison under Ange could be something special.
Could be.
You've got Bentancur, you've got Romero. It is a good squad, and they will have funds to sort of improve on it with whoever Ange chooses. Hopefully not Celtic players if he does.
But this is like,
it's all just hypothetical at this point.
And that's, I don't want to. I wanted to try and get to the end of wrapping this segment up, but like a lot of people have already started panicking about him taking Kyogo and that. Listen, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. There's a gulf between these players going here yet.
The only player that you would actually need to worry about is somebody like Rio Haddad.
Yeah. And even like people are like, oh, and I've seen other people say, oh well, if Ange goes, that's the start. Like, these guys that have came to Celtic haven't just fell in love with the manager; they fell in love with the whole club and the supporters and everything. It's not. I mean, just because Ange goes,
it would be naive to know without that he has been a drawn.
Yeah, of course. But I don't think it means they're going to be out the door in 2 minutes' time. I think
he's been able to convince people like Carter Vickers and Jota and that to come back in permanent deals. I'm not saying that's no down to Celtic at all, but I mean, it's definitely been a factor that they want to work with him. And then his reputation's been growing, and players, obviously even Japanese players coming in there, I've seen how well Kyogo and Maeda and Hitate's done over there, so I want to go and be a part of that. You lose that, I think. I mean, we might still be fishing in the ponds for players, but you'd lose that aspect to it.
Aye.
So it's just horrible to sit and talk about this, because a few weeks ago we were hoping that what are we going to be talking about in the podcast? No, we're talking about is fucking
Anne's leaving. Well, sorry, Kieran, now you go.
When are we going to talk about the football?
When are we going to talk about the cup final, the potential treble that we've got coming here this Saturday? To wrap it up, I'm just going to put out there as a bit of fun, and I hope he doesn't. If he does go, off the top of your head, have you got a first picker, who would be?
No.
Genuinely
no.
No.
Hasenhüttl.
Was that your first pick?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm a big backer for Hasenhüttl. I would take Hasenhüttl.
I think he'd be great.
But everybody knows mine, and I'm not changing it. It's always going to be. It will be Brendan Rodgers. I will be driving the Brendan Rodgers bus.
Back here.
I think
I'd have to say no.
I definitely would, to be fair, because I'm fickle. But see the thing that was amusing me on Twitter, people somebody tweeted it was a photo of Brendan Rodgers and a photo of Musa. Who says no? Probably Musa. Because Musa and the Melly fucking hates Rodgers. That's been seen on Twitter.
Aye, that's right.
And also Peter Lawwell and Brendan Rodgers don't really like each other. He's still the German. He'd still have to interact with him.
Aye. I'd be that would be my first pick, ideally. Hasenhüttl's in my top 3 or 5.
Potter's in mine. Now I know he's
unrealistic.
It's unrealistic, but it'd be a passion project for him, because he's made these money at Chelsea with that payoff.
That's right, because he was on a 6 or 7 year contract, wasn't he?
And he'd have Billy Reid in his ear, who's probably one of the biggest Celtic fans you can meet.
Aye. Well, we'll see. You not got one name at all, Kieran?
No, because I feel like we're in the position here when we were 2 years ago. But, even back when Lennon was in charge, like, if you start getting who the fuck comes in, I'm like, it's not my fucking job.
Yeah, that's true. Moisey?
I don't know.
It'd be a weird thing for him.
Moyes is one of the ones where, like, for my full life, it's been like, I wouldn't mind him coming in. It's now at the point. Do you think he would leave West Ham?
Aye, I think he's ready to go. I think if he wins the Conference League, he'll be happy to go, and I think that Celtic would probably be a position he'd love to go
shit hot in the league.
No, I avoided relegation very marginally, didn't they?
I think it'd probably be a nice send off from down there, but I don't know. I wonder how. Let's in the comments,
because that was remember there was a lot of talk of Moyes. Remember when Clark was in a situation with Scotland, it was like, oh, we should Clark out and all the rest of it. And there's all this talk that apparently Moyes really wanted to come back home. So he was like, oh, next Scotland manager's going to be Moyes. He wants to come back to Scotland and all that. So there's a lot that would make sense there if those rumours are to be believed. But listen, hopefully the manager next year is Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can all hope and pray.
I'm hoping that by the time we sit down, whatever day night, hopefully we don't need to do an emergency podcast. But who knows? We might need to.
We need to do one in the Celtic band, Dubrovnik in Croatia.
Oh Christ! I've got a wee cat. Oh, he's going to leave and I'm on holiday, isn't he? Oh, that's just written in the stars.
Maybe the nice people at Croatia CSC will let us film a podcast.
I think they have a fucking camera and microphones.
Better take it away.
Right, it's time for the half-time quiz, which is going to be hosted today by the man at the end of the table, Mr. Kieran Auld. While Kieran gets the quiz up and running, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what you think is going to happen with Ange. Also, just remember, we're a bunch of Celtic fans who don't know anything, just like the MSM know nothing just now. So don't begin us pelters for.
And we also don't want Ange to leave.
Aye. We don't.
Which a lot of people seem to run with if you talk about the hypotheticals.
I know. It's not like we want him to go. We're just
looking ahead.
It's called being realistic.
Yeah,
you've just got to be realistic. When a club looks buzzed.
Seen somebody on Twitter call folk BAMs today after Ange's press conference. Like, he's no fucking Sadie Stein. I'm like, Jesus. Right, Kieran, half-time quiz. On you go.
So the day we've got, here we go, tenable. The theme for both quizzes is focused on a leader with his fist raised to the sky saying goodbye.
Oh, so is Kieran just chucked him at the door then?
Kieran, you're a quiz master. No, that's Kieran. The other Kieran is put the nail in the coffin.
He's away.
For Ange Postecoglou. Then simple tenable for today. Name the first 10 goal scorers of the Ange Postecoglou Celtic era. For clarification, we're looking for the first 10 separate goal scorers of the Celtic era since Ange took charge in 2021.
Okay.
Professional games, yeah.
Leah Labada was the first game. Leah Labada?
No, like
Yeti.
Friendlies included. Yep.
Oh, it's friendlies included.
Yep.
A
Yeti. So is Abada no in it?
Abada will be in it, surely.
Aye,
Abada's there.
How far down is Abada?
He is the 5th goal scorer.
Right, so...
Do you need to remember all the friendlies?
Odds and Edward. Yep.
Christie.
Yep.
Oh, good
against
shout,
West Ham.
So West Ham, wow.
We scored 2 that day, didn't we? Because we got beat 6-2.
Yeah, Okafor scored, that won't be on there.
No.
So we've got 4 so far.
So you've got Albion Ayeti, you've got Abada, you've got Edward, and you've got Christie.
Callum McGregor's no one, is he?
Yep.
Is
he was the other goal scorer against West Ham.
Oh, was he?
He was.
Wow.
That was a good goal as well. Was Kyogo in that?
Yep.
Oh, did he make it? I wasn't going to guess
6.
Kyogo. I didn't think he'd make it. Who else have we had?
Turnbull?
Nope.
No, it's Turnbull no there. That was a good guess on Ryan. I was about to say well done.
Not Taylor, not Ralston.
Was it with 2? Oh, Ralston, aye.
Ralston.
Yep, because Hearts game.
Hearts.
Starfield.
Right, I'll tell you, you've still got 2 goals of friendlies to come, and then you've also got 1 actual competitive game.
Right, okay. 2 goals in front. I watched them be absolute diddies. Are they diddies?
But you need to think back to the friendlies. It's between a Yeti scoring and Abada versus Midtjylland. So it's between them.
Oh my god.
Edward scored in one of the games that you're looking for the other scorers.
See, this is like...
Did Karamoko Dembele score?
Yep.
Well done.
He scored against Charlton Athletic.
We
Remember
watched
that?
these on stream.
We did.
Ah.
That was a tough watch.
That was a long time ago.
That was Ange ball before it was
Aye,
Ange
that
ball.
was
It was like a
pre-
weird.
that was like
Lenny
that was the
Ange
bit.
ball.
That was the
It was a
beta.
Ange ball.
That was the beta.
Do you want me to say the game? That,
Yeah, go on.
Go
For
on.
the friendly was against Sheffield Wednesday, in which Ayeti, Edward, and somebody else scored in a 3-1 win.
Oh, I got something that then Forest.
No, in that game, but
Mhm.
he was the competitive game against Jablonec.
So he was,
The
yeah.
4-2
So he
win,
was,
away from
yeah.
Wales.
So we're talking about Christie. Ayer never played under Ange.
Who was floating in and about the team, man? Can I think
Ewan
for
Henderson,
Nah, but as
Scott Robertson.
who's that man?
Scott
Nah.
Robertson, no.
You're looking for a B team sort of player, but
Rocco Vata.
nope.
No.
He wasn't in about
He'd
the
have been
team.
too
It was
young
the-
at
it was
that
the
point,
year
eh?
after he scored, wasn't it?
I think you'll kick yourself when you forget
A
this
B
cunt-
team, a B.
This cunt played for Sellik.
Played. He said played. Played. He's away now.
Yeah, he's away.
He's away.
Ben Doak? No.
Nope.
He's away. Who is it?
Not Joey Dawson.
He's still there.
Do you need a clue?
Aye, go.
Well, just go out and say the team that he moved to.
Uh-huh.
I think you'll get it in an instant.
Held.
No.
Go.
He went to Blackpool.
Oh, Owen Moffat.
Ah, you bastard. So he did. So he did.
Doesn't play for
So
It's a tough one, eh?
you got Albion Ayeti against Sheffield Wednesday, Owen Moffat against Sheffield Wednesday, Edward against Sheffield Wednesday, Karamoko Dembele against Charlton, Leila Bad against Midtjylland, Cal McGregor and Ryan Christie against West Ham, Ralston against Hearts, Kyogo versus Jablonec away from home in the 4-2 win, and James Forrest in the same game. That's the first 10 separate goal scorers.
So we didn't get a 10 today. I think it's the first time we've no got a 10, maybe. I don't know.
No, I mean, you got Owen Moffat, but you said to get a clue for it.
Aye, true. Ah, we got there in
Phone
the
a
end.
friend, basically.
Well done, Kieran. Good quiz
Yeah, well
mastery.
done.
Well done. I enjoyed that. Well done to anybody at home that was playing along with us and managed to beat me and McGinley to the 10 names. But it's time to move on, and it's time to preview what is our final game of this campaign, and it's a chance for Ange Postecoglou to make history. Perhaps his last chance of making history before he goes.
Let's hope not.
And let's hope not. It is a potential treble game against Inverness at Hampden in the Scottish Cup final. Championship Inverness versus Premiership Celtic. Let's not beat around the bush here, guys. We should not be losing this game.
No, we shouldn't. I mean, I think the last week there was concerns about maybe people taking the game for granted, and I think hopefully we've sort of put our worries a wee bit to bed by the pretty convincing performance against Aberdeen Trophy Day. It's usually always going to happen on Trophy Day. Like, you put in a decent performance. I mean, the scorelines in the past few years haven't exactly been ridiculous. Apart from last season was good, but I mean, you had a couple of years where it was like 2-1s and things like that. But hopefully we've went out and made a performance that has shut people like ourselves up.
Yep.
That were maybe getting a wee bit too worried, and hopefully I don't think Ange or the players will be taking this game lightly. I think they know what it means.
Yeah.
They know how important it would be to get the treble and make it.
So the 8th treble
8th.
in our history.
So that's a ridiculous achievement to try and emulate the teams of the past, and hopefully we can get it done.
Yeah, and Ryan, obviously last week we got that performance, as Kieran's mentioned, which was massive. But you know, that's Inverness are obviously completely different sides and coaches and everything. A side that's caused Celtic problems, been a sticky wicket at Hampden in the past. Experiences like that the side and the players and the manager will be completely aware of heading in tomorrow. Like, it's just business as usual, no complacency, and let's forget those wee blips that we had towards the end here.
Yeah, he was talking about that. Ange Postecoglou was talking about that in his press conference today. He was saying he knows about the history between Celtic and Inverness, especially in the Scottish Cup. So it's good that he's been clued up in that. He says he doesn't. He says he wants it to be a different story this time. He doesn't want it to be the same story that happened last time. You know, hopefully people aren't handballing it on the line, and then hopefully VAR would pick that up if it came to it this time. But yeah, it's one of those games. Celtic have got to win it. I think they've got to win it comfortably as well. I mean, I know it's a cup final, 11 men v 11 men, but surely the quality's got to come through. I think if they play anywhere near the way they played against Aberdeen, it should be a routine day at the office, because some of the football we were playing against Aberdeen was a joy to watch.
It was.
The sort of, when we returned from the World Cup break, it was that sort of football we were playing.
Yeah.
It was really, really enjoyable. Within the first 5 minutes, I don't know about yous, but Hatate, the way he was just like caressing the ball and just doing his wee
gliding
turns.
through the park.
When he does that, he's just a joy to watch. He's worth the admission fee to just watch him play. Yes, there's a couple of injury worries, most specifically to Kyogo. We'll probably get on to talk about that. But we've got a capable replacement, I would say. You've seen that at the weekend.
Good performance, strong, and that's where I was going to come to next. As we head into this, we know there are a couple of injury concerns. We know a couple of players went off the park against Aberdeen. But if you wanted a statement performance from Kieran, we got that last week.
I mean, I feel like we were talking about players that are maybe getting written off, and that never even came into the conversation between us last week, because we knew there is a player there, we know that. But I mean, he managed to, what is his stats now, like less than 90 minutes for a goal? What, it was like 80 something, you know, it's like a goal every 88 minutes or 84 minutes, something like that.
His XG is something like 0.74, which is really, really high for a striker.
Because I mean, it's somebody that's been having to play a bit part this season, and he's a young guy. He's just want to take his opportunities when he can and impress, and I think he's done that for the most part. There's been a couple of games where the general opinion's been he's not been the greatest on the park or whatever, but I think for him to go and do it against a team like Aberdeen, it's not like we were playing, well, obviously that's never going to happen this bit, but you're playing the bottom of the league sort of thing. He's a team that's rightfully earned a place as the third best team in the country this season, and I thought it was a pretty established performance. And with Kyogo getting injured, you've got that worry ahead of the cup final, because Kyogo's a big game player. Like, you've seen him win 2 League Cups single-handedly for Celtic in the finals, so you know how massive he can be in these games. And it is a miss, but hopefully he's maybe got the bit more physical presence as well. He's got the turn of pace, and he's really technically quite good as well. You see it like, when he's on the spin and that. But
that spin we seen against, was it Ross County or someone? It was away from home, I know that for sure. One touch, he just took it away from the defender, totally spun him. He's got so many raw attributes that I like in a player, and I know that there's a player there that you can just nurture, and you know he's going to be good in a couple of years. I'm so glad that we've got him on our books. Not that he's just a loan signing that'll go back to a parent club and then start doing bits for his parent team. He's here for the foreseeable, and I think we've seen another wee glimpse of what he can do. I mean, that header, that first goal, it's so difficult to place the header the way he does it. It was a joy.
And that's what I was going to say about maybe Inverness is the kind of game that he'll thrive in, because these championship sides, they have to be a bit rougher, they have to be stuck in a wee bit more, they won't see a lot of the ball, whereas we will. You know, maybe the size of the physicality, the fact you see these headers and such as well, that might come into
it gives you another option up top as well, because I mean, realistically, Inverness are going to set up to frustrate Celtic on Saturday, and well within the rights to do that. If they think that's the game plan to try and get something out of the game, then obviously they need to do it. But I think if you had Kyogo, they're going to try and go through Kyogo straight away. I don't know if O's going to be putting up with any of that sort of shite, to be fair. And it also gives you the option, if you're struggling to break teams down, you know you've got a big guy in there that can challenge, because realistically they're just going to put massive centre-halves on him. So you need somebody that can be an aerial threat as well, which Kyogo surprisingly has in the past been an aerial threat, but it's just with timing and that. But you want somebody that can go up for 50-50 with these guys.
Using his elbows and that.
Proper dirty play.
That's what I want. I want hot players on the opposition side.
It sounds like you want the striker centre half as well.
Yes, like Jaden Stockley.
Oh fuck, man.
We'll have it like that. No, I'm confident O can step into the fold this weekend and do the job that we need him to do. I think that now more than ever, you know, if Kyogo was to miss any final, this is the one I'd be probably the most fine with.
Yeah.
Not saying that I'm fine with it, but if I was to pick any,
see, we're not a team where we need to worry about our strikers that's us fucked for goals. We're a team that goals are at the park. Like,
exactly.
We're not solely reliant on Kyogo. He's the top goal scorer, but you look at the goals scored for everywhere else across the park this season. Everybody else has chipped in, so we shouldn't be worried in that aspect. I'm just hoping everybody's on their game, everybody's right up for it, because Alistair Johnson the day was talking about they don't let the noise get into the dressing room. Cal McGregor doesn't, Ange certainly doesn't. So hopefully they're all focused on the one goal, and they've all been talking a good game going into this final, so hopefully they're true to the words and they haven't let any speculation about the manager's future get into the game plan for Saturday.
So what is the actual update with Kyogo then? He's not been...
He's back in group training tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, they're going to give him a go with the group, but he's been training individually.
I'd be surprised to see him start.
I would be surprised.
Saturday. I don't think we would risk him unnecessarily.
Bench him. I'd put him on the bench.
Yeah, in case we need
even
him.
if he's not fit to maybe play, just stick him on the bench. If we need him, we need him. I think it's a great opportunity. You can't drop well, you could drop a guy that scored 3 goals in these last 2 games, but I think it'd be a great opportunity for him, for O to really feel like he belongs in that team.
Yeah.
He done the business when he came off the bench against Aberdeen. He showed enough quality, and we would be wanting O to be playing games against your lower opposition. We're playing against a team that are in the lower league, a lower league than Celtic. We can afford to play O. If I don't want to be risking Kyogo for the long term. I know he's going to be out for, or he's going to be. He'll get the international break, and then he'll be off for weeks. But you don't want to risk his long term. You don't want him coming on a game and then aggravating it. And I want him to get international games because I think he deserves it after the season he's got. I think if we play O, then brilliant. And if Kyogo's fit, then brilliant. But we're in a really good position. Or why not just play both of them?
Who knows? We could. They've played at the same time before, haven't they? Like,
they looked alright actually together.
Let's talk about the occasion itself a bit, because wow, it's like I feel like because of everything that's happened the last couple of days, I've not properly digested that this is a treble again. Like, have we just become used to them? Because I don't know. I just feel like
not even thinking the wider thing of the treble. I just love the Scottish Cup. Like, see, you think it's been 4 years since we were last in person at a Scottish Cup final. Like,
see as well on top of that, though, I hope it's some lovely weather again Saturday.
The last time there was good weather for us was Motherwell
2018.
2018. Fucking
long time ago. 5 years.
5 years ago.
Nice.
Wow. I just love that, like rocking up to Hampden in your shorts, just your Sellik
Shorts
tap.
and a t-shirt.
And that's, you know, we should cherish these moments, because I know that Scottish football's in a position now, just like the rest of world football, where the money is dominating, and you're realistically going to be looking at Celtic and Rangers dominating this country and its tournaments for a long time to come. But at the same time, trebles do come few far between. You know what I mean? You look at the last couple of years, we've not done it the last couple of years. You just got to enjoy these moments.
Prior to that, it was a 16 year gap.
So
16 years doing them.
You've got to enjoy them, man. You've got to acknowledge them. I know this one's maybe had a little bit taken away from it because of the anxiety around Ange, but still so special.
We just I think it would be nice. I mean, it's easier said than done. I'm saying this right now as if I'm going to do it, but it'd be nice to just put the speculation to one side. Focus on the occasion of Saturday. I mean, as the players are doing, they're not focusing on all this shit. But as fans, it would be nice if we could just switch off and think, right, we'll enjoy the game and then worry about it. But we're not wired for that. We're not going to do that.
How many times on the way to the Grun are we going to hear, do you think you'll be here next season? How many times? Like, not even in your own conversations, you'll just hear it.
I genuinely think we're only going to get 90 minutes of respite, and that'll be when the game's played. So I think it's going to be all the talk before the game, and it's definitely going to be all the talk after the game. So that 90 minutes will be just watching Celtic play. There might even be chats during the game about, is Ange going to stay?
Because you know what's going to happen when he's potentially lifting. I'm not writing Inverness out of it. I'm giving them the respect. It's their cup final too. If Ange is lifting that trophy, you know, everybody's going to be sitting there with maybe a tear in their eye thinking, this might be it. This could be it. And I think the body language police will be out in full force. The lip reader CSC will be watching closely. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, it's the whole day is going to be, the game's going to be observed under a microscope. Let's be real. Like, every aspect of it.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to the actual game. I mean, I feel like we're getting closer to it now. I've not really thought about it all week because you've got all this speculation, but when you actually sit down and think about it, it's the first time we've been able to go to a Scottish Cup final in 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, missed out on it last year, which I got on. Ange has said about how this is the one trophy he's missed out on, so I hope we're all guns blazing, gone out there, and hopefully it's a good performance.
So team predictions very quickly then. Let's go back to front, and assuming that we're all agreeing on Joe Hart and goals. Right, Ryan, I'll let you take away the back four.
So Johnson's straight back in. You don't give a guy press conference duties if he can't play. So it's
makes
sense. 1-1, 2, you know what I mean? Starfelt and Iwata at the back.
I agree.
It's got to be Iwata was a lot better, and that was because Johnson was next to him. The two things were correlating there. Iwata just looked as if he had more space on the ball. Ralston was getting in his way that week before when he was playing.
I think it's the difference of having the confidence. Like, the person isn't going to just turn it back and pass it to you. Yeah. Johnson provides the option to actually run with the ball.
And then Greg Taylor at left back.
Aye.
Would you agree?
I would agree, absolutely. That's my back four. Midfield three, Kieran.
McGregor, Hatate, O'Reilly.
Agreed.
Agree. I miss Aaron Moy. I miss him.
He's the one player that's definitely out.
Aye, I miss him, man. I've missed him so much.
What's the script to him? Is he
injured?
No, but
Oh,
like,
he's
his
got
contract.
God knows. No idea.
Because I mean, we all thought by this point he'd have still been in the team and like they'd have announced the contract. But is this going to be one because he's sort of faded out the team? It's going to be out the back door sort of thing. Or I would still want him around
I
the
want
squad.
him around.
Was there not a thing going about a back injury that he's got?
Nah,
serious?
something's injured.
See, I mean, if that's the case, then I don't know if the club's going to be willing to
Aye.
give contracts to somebody that's going to be injured.
I can't talk about somebody else leaving the team. I'd not have it. So we're going Hatate, Riley, McGregor for the midfield
absolutely.
three. I agree as well. And front three, wow, options. But is it going to be? I think we've all came to the conclusion. Might start the game. Up front, is it going to be Maeda and Jota, the normal left and right?
I can't see past Maeda, but I'd love to see Haxa and Jota.
Is Haxa back though? Is he fit?
Aye,
Yeah.
he's fit for the final. I'd love.
I don't think he will be though.
I know, but it'd be.
I'd
great
love it because I love Haxa, but it's just not
It'll
going to be.
It'll be Maeda and Jota.
Aye, Jota and Maeda for me.
Aye, that'll be the three. I love Haxa and I hope he gets on the game then. If he is fit, I never realised he was back. I thought he was out for the season, but aye, there we go. So it's quite a straightforward team, really.
Aye, I think it pretty much picks itself.
It's not really a game that you'd expect Ange to throw on curveballs.
Nah, it's a cup final.
Cup final. Go out and win. Score predictions then. Woohoo. Yeah, I'll start with you, Kieran, on the left. We'll go left to right.
3-1.
3-1.
I would rather a clean sheet, but I don't know. I just can't help shake.
Inverness got 1-0.
That done. I can score if we go 3-0.
5-0.
Whoa.
Fuck's sake.
It's a lower league opposition.
Oh,
I would
poor
expect us to go out and win.
Oh, poor Inverness, Cal, yeah.
This is a final.
Aye.
I wouldn't go
They've
out
not
and
played
say
in 28 days, remember?
Aye, well, they've played a couple of friendlies, have they not?
Can he beat the real thing, can you?
The real thing, good band. I'm going to go for 3-0. I'm keeping the clean sheet, but I'm going to go for the 3. It should be one of those games Celtic should be able to score 5, but a cup final, you have to wait and see. Well,
They're going to try and make it tough for us.
No,
I think it would be good if we could get an early goal just to set the tone.
Aye.
I think
Then
it was,
slap them,
I
so.
can't be asked for like a pure nervy 20 minutes where we're letting them get on the ball.
Aye.
But I think if you've got people like Maeda in that starting that's going to run them ragged, then hopefully that goes in your favour if they've not played in a month.
Sorry, I'm a tired boy, don't hit me on in a way. You guys say something, right? I thought you were
It's
going to say
one of
something.
those ones where I think fitness will come into it, and I think the fitness levels will really hit them in the second half. Because we've been playing every week, I think you'll see a real difference between the two teams and the quality that we can bring off the bench. Hacks is your worst nightmare if you're trailing a game 2-3-0 hopefully by the 60th minute, I would say. Then if you can score another 2-3 goals at the end of the game to sort of really consolidate the win, that'd be great for me. But I'll take any win as long as our name's on the trophy at the end of the
Send
day.
them back on the £100 trains, miserable.
How many is them? 6,000?
Is that how they sell
I think
it?
it is 6,000.
Yeah, there was people that had the cheek to suggest we still offered them 25 just to see what they could do with it.
See, they've done it the right way, but because it's like, see if they just let them have like a free for all, buying whatever tickets they want in that stand, then.
Aye.
But they made them buy it section by section, I'm
aye,
sure.
aye.
Smart.
Because I thought more tickets were going to get put on sale yesterday because they said, but Mark was saying to us about how supposedly they were
they're
already
gone.
sold. Aye.
Well, there you go. There is our cup final preview, prediction, and basically our whole main chunk of the show. Kieran, I don't know if you can see how long we've been on.
52 minutes, I think.
52 already. I suppose it's a bumper episode, isn't it? And
It is.
technically it's the last one of the season. Technically.
I mean, we'll have the awards show.
They've got the awards. God knows if that'll be postponed depending on what happens next week. So
A sombre awards show.
yeah, so get us. One thing I want to ask you is Ryan gets the Twitter questions ready for us. Let us know what categories you would like to. Usually we have a bit of fun. We put in a few wee daft categories. What do you think should be there this year as categories for our awards this year? As always, we'll get you guys to vote, hand them out. We'll have our own player of the year and yada yada. It's all a laugh. Is this the year we finally turn up and so that's Jacinta? Oh, there, darling. How you doing? Right, let's go.
Starfelt to you and me.
Oh, so she is. Aye, that's official now, isn't it?
Aye.
Aye, that's it. They went public. Good on them.
Good looking couple.
Good looking couple. Right, anyway, let's get into our questions. McGinley's hosted. Off you pop.
Cal, we always need to start with Cal.
Legend.
Full English Scottish breakfast, but you can only pick 2 items each. What's your plate looking like?
So like a joint plate between the
I'm
three,
conf-
so we pick 2 things each.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, so I'll start off with black pudding and
Nice.
square sausage.
No, you dauber, you. I was hoping you weren't going to take Square, because I was going to take Link, but you can't have the two.
Yes, you can.
You
I'm
can.
gonna put Link
It's
on.
a joint plate here.
Right, well, okay then. I'm putting,
I'm
you
not
putting
sharing
black, you put on black
pudding.
pudding.
With that cunt. I'm saying that, mate.
That's, why do you all make it as if I'm some sort of animal?
I've witnessed you slip an egg down the hole.
True.
True.
True. I'm going to go for a tortoise scone. So you've got black pudding in a square. I'm going to go for tortoise scone and bacon.
How we having the bacon, but
Crispy.
Yes.
Let's go crispy.
I'm gonna go Link sausage and toast.
And toast.
Toast,
Oh,
toast,
yeah.
massive.
Outside shout. Never thought of that.
fried
Good.
bread, man.
That's a
Put
decent
calories in.
That's a decent fry up. I'd eat that.
You can't beat a good bit of toast. How dark do you like your toast? I
Not
love it.
very.
I love it very dark.
Do you?
Nah, fuck that.
8
See,
minutes in the toaster.
8?
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, mine isn't very strong, so you know.
What? Is that a fucking light bulb you're going to get?
8 minutes somewhere.
If I left
If I left
My
mine
house
out
would
for
be
8
burnt down if I left the toaster on for fucking 8 minutes.
Nah, it's alright.
8 minutes?
This is Tam's toaster for fucking...
You know,
Still
like,
good.
how black or burnt. Like, jeez, so mine just light. I have my toast really light. Fucking 8 minutes. Fucking, I might have a heart attack. Right, okay, good fry up. Rate or fry up. I'd eat it. Right, next.
So Anthony Divine asks, if Ange goes, how many signings do you think the club will be able to keep? How many of his signings do you think the club will be able to keep?
I think the one big one that I think a lot of people expect to leave is maybe Hattati.
Aye.
And apart from that, you have to wait and see what the rumours are.
Yeah. Matthew says, give us a percentage on how confident you are that Ange stays. I'm 40-60 at the moment. That he goes.
I think
60 that he goes.
I seen that question earlier on Twitter. I think I was like 33.3% from staying and 2/3 gone. I mean that sort of mindset. I feel like I'd maybe resign myself a wee bit, but I'm still got that hopefulness there.
I'm 70-30
That he's going.
that he's going.
Yeah. Okay.
70-30. I don't know how you even measure that shit. Like, I don't know. I just think I'm just like
feels really
it
bit
just
that.
feels there.
Ad the Lad says, any bad but PG stories from
I
Saturday?
can't remember Saturday.
I didn't drink.
I can't remember a lot yet.
I mean, I don't think I've got any bad stories. To be fair, we weren't
Yeah,
really
crank
doing
day.
Merchant City long. Like,
Aye,
we were there
only
like an
really
hour or something.
Yeah.
I think once you've seen it, you're like, oh.
I know. It's one of the ones, everybody's stunning about the rain groups. And I don't know if it was just about we were stunning, it just wasn't very lively.
No. It was something that I wasn't bothered about staying it much longer. But I had a cracking day. Good day.
Class day.
Good day.
Kieran, who does the quizzes for us, thank you very much as always. Time we starting at the Brig on Saturday, you filthy hoodlums.
I'm really don't want to start too early, man. I don't want to be pure gone for that game.
He says that now.
See you at 11.
I see you there at opening.
Caden asks, best scran you've ever had abroad. I think we've answered this question
That's a house in
before.
Zante.
Just Kieran just knows he's right in there. He knows it. Do you know what? A big shout has to go to Marianos and Benidorm.
Oh, fuck. Where else can you go and just get a chicken curry at any time? 24-hour restaurant.
24-hour restaurant with rotisserie chickens on just on command. You know.
Wow.
Oh, brilliant!
Sounds great.
Big shout out to that.
It's got to be Bollywood and Tenerife, man. Oh,
Still
best
never been to
Indian I've
Tenerife,
ever
so.
had. Oh, what a place.
Yeah.
With the early names of Jesse Marsh, Graham Potter and Kieto Knutson, is that how you say
That's
it? Yeah,
Knutson.
being spoke of as being potential candidates if Ange leaves, some far more likely to come than others. What out of the three, who would everyone pick out of those three?
Out of the three, I don't think it'll be any of the three, but I would go Potter.
I mean, if you were allowed no restrictions or whatever, you would go Graham Potter there, I'd
Yeah.
imagine. But it's not realistic.
I think with Knutson there is a bit of a sort of question mark, much like his players that have left Bodo Glimt, who haven't really amounted to anything.
Ended up going back.
Because Patrick Berg went to it was a
Lens.
Lens. It was Lens and
He was back there in half
and then
a season.
He went back. So
And they're already trying to ship out Solbakken at Roma, aren't they?
are they?
I think so.
no idea.
Come to
Is there another Solbakken? Because I done a Bodo Glimt career and I swear there was another player called Solbakken at
God
Bodo Glimt.
knows. God.
a
you got
manager
a-
called Solbakken.
You got a brother?
Unless I'm thinking my FM save, maybe ever. What I was going to say, there is a man just out of job though. His name, Ted Lasso.
Oh fuck man.
Never
Bring him
even
in.
started it.
Bring him in. Bring
Is
him
that a
in.
spoiler for people?
That's shite, aye. Oh, if you can't see it coming, then you deserve it. Like, come on.
Cancelled, man.
Well, there you go, Ted. Get him in.
Walt dies at the end. Liam says, not a question, but just glad to see Kieran's on this week.
That's
We're on
very
last
nice. I know I was. I'm paying attention.
Part timer. Liam, a question for you: are you a part timer? Drew says, ideal Ange replacement, and why is it Brendan?
Well, he's on my side. I'm telling you, I'll be if Ange goes, the minute he's at the door, my account's becoming Brendan Rodgers propaganda. I'll be on Photoshop making posters and everything.
There's a
Hope
reason why
Elon
you
takes
block.
you down again, man.
What'd you say?
That's it. Musk will be on you again.
Aye, he will be.
It'll be taking you down.
I've got no shame.
And Harry Kewell was in his regular clothes.
I came back to the club. John was standing there in the scud.
Domino's cookies
Don't know
or
why.
Ange 5-year contract.
I do love a Domino's cookie, but I'll go for the Ange.
Love that.
I'm afraid I need to go for the Domino's cookies, lads. I'm afraid.
Would the cookie last you for 5 years though? That's the question.
I don't think so. No. Unless it's like a constant flow for 5 years.
I mean, to be fair, I've never tried and let one sit for 5 years, but I mean, you know, seeing things like
be a very
McDonald's
durable
food just
cookie.
dies the same for like months.
Yeah. Hoop Dog asks about the Champions League group. I think we'll talk about that more as we get into the summer months. Teams that we can get. We don't even know. Well, do we know actually?
I looked at the pots.
There's
and
25 teams confirmed now, isn't there? And you can basically make out who's in what pot.
Aye.
Sevilla, pot 1, please.
Yeah, they'll be in pot 1, that's right.
Did you watch the game last night?
Oh, rotten game of
That was
football.
awful. Did you watch it?
No, I only watched the penalty
So
shoot.
sad for Jose though, sad for Jose.
He was
I
wrong
don't
about,
care.
wrong about the referee. The
I love how
referee
he
had a
ran it
great
back,
game.
you see him in the car park, ran it back, man.
Referee had a great game though, so I don't know what
Has he got a
complaining about.
PSG? Mourinho?
Is he?
I seen he was getting linked to him.
Uh-huh.
Won't be with Messi. He just does not want to work with Messi, does he? at
No,
all?
Messi's away anyway, isn't he?
Aye. So is Benzema. Benzema's away.
Right, fucking
aye.
move on.
Eh,
Welcome back to the Talk European Football podcast.
Let's get back to talking about food.
I know, where's this grand questions? Come on. I know we're all
what
preoccupied.
positions
Yeah.
do you feel we need to strengthen this summer?
Oh, pish, we'll come on to that.
Centre-back, goalkeeper, right back.
Favourite Ange moment so far?
Just being here.
Yeah.
Just him.
The next one.
The next
ne-
one.
yeah,
the next
Ange's
one.
next one.
Champions.
When we've-
Again.
Because I'm a lucky. You're like Ange, right? You've said it. You know you're a lucky man. He writes his own headlines with stuff like that.
Aye.
Unfortunately, Phil is back.
Oh, go on, Phil.
Phil's top 5 replacements for his words, not mine. For Fat Dick.
Huh?
Sorry for language.
What, Dick Advocate?
Who's yours? Didn't know I was getting a replacement on this podcast. Thanks for laughing. It was a joke. 1, Graham Potter. 2, Brendan Rodgers. 3, Scott Brown. 4, Martin O'Neill. 5, the small boy in the middle of you 3 as he knows everything. Thank you, Phil.
God,
Correct.
Phil likes you. He must just hate me and you, Keelan.
No, get it up.
There is no question to this, Phil. Where is the I won't let Fatty put me off an important night. Dinner, then golf. Fair.
Fair enough, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. On a
Thanks, Phil.
scale of 1 to 10, how rough were you on Sunday morning?
Oh.
0.
I was really rough.
I was just,
Really. See, when you tan like a bottle and a half of Jack Daniels.
oh, you're right.
Very funny.
Blake,
Very funny, Keelan.
Should we go? Blake says, should we go for the Bodo Glimp manager? That's not soon.
He's not in my top 5.
He's not in your top 5.
He's no.
And if he's not in Ryan's top 5, he's not interested. That's it.
I
You want nobody but your top 5.
I am the one who knocks.
So what is your top 5 then? Tell us your top 5.
In no particular order. If I was to name 5 names off the top of my
Brendan
head.
Rodgers at number 1.
Brendan Rodgers at number 1. Yeah,
Exactly.
Brendan Rodgers at 1. And in no particular order, Potter, Hassan, Hutto, Michael Carrick, and
What about Moise?
Moise, maybe. Maybe he's just outside the top 5. For now, I'll go Moise.
Nathan Jones.
No. No, Nathan bloody
Feels
Jones.
physically sick.
Jesus Christ. What has he said? I could have sat back home with my Welsh wife and sat on a farm or something. I don't know what it was he said. They would be my 5 off the top of my head, I think.
That's hard. And do you know, as much as I don't want him to leave, it's always exciting when like you get linked with like other managers as well.
Nah, I know what you mean.
Like, I want him to stay, but
I fucking hate it, if I'm being honest.
You
Like,
hate it?
like the whole uncertainty. I mean, I know it's like the whole like. It's
good for content.
Aye, he's just something to talk about, but I hate the unknown, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. We're ready to
Oh, we've
move
got the
on
quiz as well.
to the final segment of today's
today.
very big bumper cup final end of season special show. And it's a full-time quiz which will be hosted by myself, for Ryan McGinley and Kieran Auld. And this week, Ryan, I'll let you choose if you want to go player A or player B, because you were in the half-time quiz?
I'll
It's no hard,
go
Ryan.
player
A,
I'll
B.
go B.
Right, okay, there you go. Player B. So, Kieran, you're first this week. You don't usually like going first, do you?
It's a superstition thing.
Mind games.
okay.
Already. I knew that.
Right, so the full-time quiz topic today is with Saturday... He's gone all in, Kieran. Kieran said, with Saturday looking like possibly being Ange's last game in charge of the club...
I would get it, Kieran.
he's not very hopeful, is he? With his last game in charge of the club, the focus of this quiz will simply be Ange Postecoglou's time as manager of Celtic. So, Kieran Alder, I'm again like, are you both ready?
Yes.
Kieran, up first. Your question is, who did Ange Postecoglou's first victory at Celtic Park come against?
It was St Mirren.
Oh, no. It was not. Ryan?
Dundee.
Dundee. Well, it's both of them were 6 now, weren't
That's
they?
why I was getting confused.
Aye, so it was Dundee. So.
Yablonek, I think it was like 3
I know,
between
I
them.
was not sure about that.
Right, Ryan, to take the lead then in question one, Ange Postecoglou's first away victory in the league for Celtic was against Aberdeen, thanks to a Jota winner.
Yep.
Who set up the goal?
Adam Montgomery.
Correct, well done. 1-0, McGinley, Kieran. Here you go, you need to get this. Celtic's last game before the mid-season lockdown in 21-22 was away to St Mirren. What was the score?
In the 21-22 lockdown.
Yes, the wee mini lockdown they had. In fact, it was postponed for a couple of weeks and such.
Aye.
We played St Mirren.
Did we?
Yes, the last game before it.
Sure did.
I thought that was fucking... we played St Johnson on Boxing Day. didn't we?
Aye, but it was before that, wasn't it?
How the fuck
This
that
game-
before lockdown then?
Yeah, it was right after the League Cup final,
Yeah.
Right.
and then there was a suspension of games after.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the score was.
Yeah.
I don't know, 2-1.
No,
Nothing each.
not in each.
It was an
stinker.
awful.
It
one
usually
of
is
the
a
worst
shite game
games,
now,
aye.
but
Aye,
Oh,
I
nil-nil.
genuinely don't even remember that game happening.
Nah, the 0-0. And we had like Owen Moffat up front, I think.
Aye, yeah.
Yeah.
That was ringing a bell.
Aye.
In St Mirren, they said they had a COVID outbreak, but then they named quite a good team. I was like,
Aye.
hey, what are you doing that for?
No.
Man? I'm fucking
So-
a shit team.
McGinley, you can take a comfortable lead here and go up 2-0.
Never comfy.
Which team did Celtic defeat in both cups in the 21-22 campaign?
What team did they?
In both cups.
So not in the because we didn't play in both cups. Is it last season? Did you say sorry?
Yeah, last season, Ange's first season.
Is it Rafe Rovers?
Yes, Rafe Rovers 4-0 in the Scottish Cup and 3-0 in the League Cup. Well done, right.
League Cup Jota's first goal.
Right, Kieran, you really need this. After Kyogo, which Celtic player has scored the most goals under Ange Postecoglou? There are two answers for this one. They're joint, but the overall correct answer goes to the player with the best goals to game. I'm just going to give you it for any of the two, mate. Because goals, it's not as if you know the goals to game ratio off the top of your head.
Won't be Yakimakis. Leah Labada.
I'll give you it. Here's one of the two, Jota and Leah Labada. Technically, Kieran wanted Jota because of the goals to game ratio, but I'm going to scrap that. Sorry, Kieran. No offence. So 27 goals, Jota and Abada. Right, Ryan, to go up 3-1. How many points has Ange Postecoglou taken in the split over the course of the two seasons? Is it 16, 18 or 20 points?
18.
Correct.
Just a guess.
Well done, mate. 18.
Well,
7 this season and 11 last season. So there you go. Right, Kieran, you get it wrong, you've lost. It's over. So, who was Ange Postecoglou's first Celtic signing? Don't dive in.
Oh, I know this.
Be careful.
Because it's not going to be fucking Urigide or that. Abada.
Right,
You gave the answer.
you gave the answer.
You gave the
because
I thought he was a
but technically,
it was the
yeah.
First.
Origide was right. Correct.
Fuck's sake.
Kieran. So Ryan, you've won this week. You've won. So you could Liam Shaw and Joey Dawson came in before Origide, but obviously different reasons. Right, Ryan, to take an even. I mean, you've won anyway. Who was Ange Postecoglou's latest signing for Celtic?
Young Uto.
Yes, correct. Kieran, your last question. How many points did Ange Postecoglou take in European group stage football?
In total.
Yeah.
Good question.
8.
11.
11.
9 in the Europa League and 2 in the Champions League.
9 in the
Yeah.
I was thinking
Yeah,
just
'cause
two.
yeah.
And we finished third.
We were very unlucky.
We beat Betis in the.
We beat
the last
Betis
game.
twice. No,
we
sorry.
Ferencvaros
We beat
twice.
Betis. We beat Ferencvaros twice.
Aye.
Aye.
How's your luck, man?
Aye. Any other group you'd have maybe got through with that. So Ryan, your last question would have been who scored Celtic's first European group stage goal under Ange Postecoglou?
Yeti.
Correct. So Yeti against Betis.
Like 5 out of 5 there.
You did.
Bad, not
Well
bad.
done. It might be the first time ever, fuck's sake. We've got a
Stand
5.
last.
Got a 5 out of 5. So well done, Ryan. You've won this week. You've redeemed yourself after losing last week.
lose every week,
You did, aye. I mean, I would go into the tiebreaker, but we've went a long time today. So that's it. Could it be the last podcast with Ange Postecoglou in charge of Celtic?
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. Let's hope next week we're laughing at ourselves for wasting their breath on it. But we'll just have to wait and see. With a treble. Everybody enjoy your Saturday. Kieran, enjoy yours. Big yawn there, you alright there, son?
Fucking shattered.
Ready for bed. What time is it anyway? 8:30. Ryan, enjoy your Saturday as well.
Thank you, mate.
And we'll see you all next time.